Hey guys, I know it's a very busy Sunday night in the world of wrestling. Got the TNA pay-per-view going on right now as I'm recording this. Of course, by the time you watch this video, the pay-per-view may be over. But and there's also the Dragon Gate pay-per-view as well. Oh my God, there's like 3 pay-per-views today. Holy crap! But I am going to review the one that I did watch today, which was CHIKARA's High Noon, their very first internet pay-per-view. And watching it from beginning to end, it was a fantastic show. I would easily say it was CHIKARA's best show of the year. And to be honest, and I'll give you my rating at the end, it was the second best pay-per-view of the entire year, only behind the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So, let's talk about the show. Now, I had to write notes, because Lord knows, on a Sunday afternoon, that I'm going to forget stuff. And yes, I did cut myself a little bit, but I'm okay. Okay, so we started the show off with a tag team match, the Colony, Fire Ant and Soldier Ant against the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Now, this is a very important match. Now, I'm gonna explain to those who missed it and were interested and have never seen CHIKARA what that's about. Well, first of all, the Young Bucks came to the ring with Marty Jannetty, who made a brief appearance, which I thought was pretty cool because Jannetty was scheduled to be on a show in, I think it was Reading, and then that snowstorm came, so he couldn't do the show the next day. So basically, the Colony and the Young Bucks each have 2 points. To get a shot at the tag titles, the Campeonatos de Parejas, you have to have 3 points. You gotta win 3 consecutive matches. And I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be, a high-flying match, going to go all over the place, everyone's going to fly up and down, but it wasn't. They had their spots, but, it was a good match. It told a story. The Young Bucks were the heels in this, even though, they're very popular over here on the East Coast. Series of great moves, and I really liked the ending to the match. The match ended like this. And you know what? I gotta get a picture reminder of who, Nick and Matt are. Because I always do get them confused. See, I'm a Jesse Ventura. I get those two confused, McMahon. So Matt has both Colony members up on his shoulders, fireman carry position. So, first of all, that's incredible that he's able to get both of them up. So Nick comes off the jump rope, gives a double stomp onto Fire Ant. Now, Matt still has Soldier Ant on his shoulders, and they're beginning to do their finishing move, more bang for your buck. So Matt hits his part, Nick goes for his, but Soldier Ant brought the knees up. Matt tried his, he caught the knees. Soldier Ant got a roll-up, 1, 2, 3, Colony win, and they get their 3rd point. So they now are the #1 contenders to the tag team title. So they will get the next shot at the tag champs Chuck Taylor and Johnny Gargano, who were not at the show today. So after that, the second match, Jacob Hammermeyer, although I'm going to call him Jacob just to make it easy for myself, against Sarah Del Rey. This was a very interesting match. Obviously, Del Rey was the better wrestler of the two. Of course, Hammermeyer, if you follow the storyline, is not really the best built wrestler in the world. He's probably 130 pounds soaking wet. There's a cool spot at one point where Sarah Del Rey is bending Hammermeyer's finger backwards. Of course, Jacob tried to get a couple of, sneaky moves in, choking her with a tie. Match ends when Del Rey locks in the Royal Butterfly Suplex combo, gets the 3 count, Del Rey gets the win. Then we get the Osirian Portal come out, Amasis and Ophidian. Now, the story to this is, back in May, Amasis got into a car accident, and he's been on the shelf for a long time. Now, the doctor told him that your wrestling career is done. You're not going to wrestle anymore. So he went to a second doctor, and he's had time to think. So Amasa said that, he's going to stick with what the doctor said. He's going to, not wrestle anymore. So, so as a fun, as a way to celebrate, they were going to do their dancing, one of their dance moves. And all of a sudden, Ophidian hits, he does the Great Muta, missed shot on Amasis, but instead of it, being missed, it was like water, like venom. And it really caught everybody off guard. And I thought it was really well done, considering how long they've been together. They've been together for 4 years as a tag team. And then at one point, Ophidian took the mask of Amasis. So I would imagine come 2012, that's going to be one of the hottest feuds in Chikara going into next year. Then we have Green Ant against Tursus. Now, the story here is back in March, Tursus interfered in a match that Green Ant had, lost the match. At King of Trios this year, Green Ant was the first one to body slam Tursus, thus beginning the Flex Express. I'm sure you guys have seen that by now. So they have their match at Chikarasaurus Rex King of Sequels Night 1, where Tursus got the win. So basically, this is the rematch to it. Now, the referee assigned to this is Derek Sabato, who is a heel referee. So early on in the match, Tursus tries to hit the big splash on Green Ant, but accidentally hits Sabato with it. And Sabato is knocked out. He does not, recover the rest of the match. So Fire Ant and Soldier Ant carry Sabato to the back. He's done for this match. Now here was really the only time the entire pay-per-view for me where I had a little bit of technical difficulty. I'm not really sure about all the other people who are going to review the show. But this was the only time in the pay-per-view where I had technical difficulty. But the ending, I really liked the ending to the match. Tursus goes to the top rope. Green Ant catches him with his arm, and he's got, plates and screws in there like Lex Luger, has. And then Green Ant hits a superplex on the Tursus, and I don't know how the ring stayed up, because the announcers were like, oh my god, I hope the ring doesn't break, And I was like, oh my god, please don't do that, And then Green Ant puts his version of the Chikara special on Tursus. Tursus taps out, and Green Ant gets the win, gets his revenge on Tursus. So we come back from intermission. The next match is Archibald Peck against Colt Cabana. Now back at King of Trios, Night 2, Archibald Peck defeated Colt Cabana. Last month, Archibald decided to get a mascot, Colt Cabunny, who has been, around in Chikara in the past. And then recently he was tested out for hair product, because, we test animals on different stuff. So Cabunny's got a little bit of green on him. This was an entertaining match. That's how I'll put it. This was an entertaining match. They had a lot of their funny comedy moments, which for Chikara, if you follow it, you really understand it, and it's, good, it's funny. And if you've never seen it, you probably either got the idea of, okay, this is really funny, or, okay, what the hell is going on? So the ending of the match, Veronica, the manager for Archibald Peck, throws in the baton. And Archibald's about to hit Cabana with it, but he loses it. So Colt Cabunny comes in, grabs the baton, and he's trying to decide who to hit, Archibald Peck or Colt Cabana. So they do this whole back and forth thing, and the bunny ends up hitting Archibald Peck with the baton. Cabana gets the pin in the 3 count. Cabana wins. After the match, he and the bunny celebrate in the ring. So it looks like Colt Cabana and Colt Cabunny are going to be a tag team in Chikara in 2012. Then the next match is Icarus against Greg Iron. And I think all of us pretty much know by now who Greg Iron is. And they've had a feud going on for a couple of months. So they have they have their match. It even goes outside a little bit. Icarus hits Greg Iron with his fanny pack, Yes, you heard me say that right. His fanny pack. Icarus attempts, or he hits his version of the pedigree. I think it's with, I forget what it was, with wings or something with wings. I don't really remember the name of the move, but it's his version of the pedigree. Iron kicks out. And they're, fighting back and forth, and then Icarus hits a Death Valley driver on the iron, gets the 3 count and the win. So after the match, Icarus gets a belt, and he's about to whip Greg Iron. And then, all of a sudden, Akuma comes out. He and Icarus have this feud going on. Icarus, he stands there. Akuma's about to kick Icarus. Icarus moves out of the way. Akuma hits Greg Iron, and Icarus gets away scot-free. So that's going to be another feud right there in 2012 with Akuma and Icarus. Then we get the big tag match, which is Aries and Tim Donitz against Ultramantis Black and Hollow Wicked. This is a no disqualification match. Everybody had something on the line. If Ultramantis Black got pinned, he would lose his mask. If Hollow Wicked got pinned, he would lose his mask. If they lost the fall, they would lose their mask. If Aries lost the fall, he would give up the Eye of Tyr. If Tim Donitz lost the fall, he would lose his hair. And CHIKARA really does not do a no disqualification, match a lot of the time. And this was done pretty well, I thought. Because there was no blood, which really, in some feuds is not necessary. And this one is a perfect example. You can get away with that. They went all over the crowd. There was one point where Aries was trying to hit the Tiger Bomb onto a set of steel chairs, but Ultramantis Black reverses it, and it looked like Aries landed right on his head at one point. I thought he'd broken his damn neck, but thankfully he was all right. Jacob Hammermeyer gets involved, and then Crossbones comes out, who, for those of you who don't know, was in one of the groups that Ultramantis Black has had in the past, so they fight to the back. Now, the ending to this match is very interesting, because Aries is in the ring alone with Ultramantis Black and Hollow Wicked. Tim Donitz was about to come into the ring and save him, but then he backs away and leaves his partner. He leaves Aries to the wolves. Ultramantis Black hits his finishing move, 1, 2, 3, Black and Hollow Wicked win. Ultramantis Black is now back in control of the Eye of Tyr. And then the main event, Mike Quackenbush, Eddie Kingston, the finals of the 12 Large Summit for the Grand Championship. This is the, one of these guys is going to be the first ever Grand Champion of CHIKARA. And the emotion there, watching it, you could feel the emotion there. You could feel, the intensity that was there. Mike Quackenbush had Jigsaw in his corner. Eddie Kingston had Tommy Dreamer in his corner. They were both seconds in this match. Neither one of them got involved. Now here, to the surprise, I think, of a lot of people, Mike Quackenbush was playing sort of the heel in this match. He was doing stuff that, if you watch a normal Mike Quackenbush match, you would not see him do. But this was a very good wrestling match. It wasn't a brawl, it didn't go to the floor, it was a good wrestling match. And then during the match, a lot of people from the locker room were coming out, to ringside to see the end of this match. People that are currently on the roster and even people from the past that were in there. I really liked the ending to the match. Both Quackenbush was giving a series of palm strikes to Eddie Kingston. And then Kingston comes right back up, slaps Quackenbush, gives 2 back body drops, or Saito suplexes, however you want to call it. And then he hits 2 back fists to the future on Quackenbush, gets the 3 count, match is over. Eddie Kingston wins the match, is the first Grand Champion of CHIKARA. And then after the match, and I gotta be honest here. I was crying. I was holding back the tears. They had Larry Sweeney's brother and one of his best friends at the show to present the belt to Eddie Kingston. And I thought that was just a touching moment, a great moment. I don't know how many people were either crying or were trying to hold back the tears. I know I was. And I have not cried a lot, for wrestling moments. But my God, that was such an emotional moment. Eddie Kingston, receiving the belt from, Larry Sweeney's brother, from his, one of his best friends, to receive the belt. And then, after he got the belt, he got the mic basically saying, I dare anybody in WWE, or let me rephrase it, anybody in New York or anybody in Florida, because he said Chikara is the best product in the world. And on this pay-per-view, they really showed that they are one of the best wrestling promotions in the entire world today. And that's basically the end of the pay-per-view. All in all, I thought this was a fantastic pay-per-view. Like I said, the best Chikara show the entire year. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I'm sure some people are going to say that's too high of a rating. But, I've seen Chikara shows a lot in the past. They've had really good shows this year. But this one is the best Chikara show the entire year. Second best pay-per-view of the year, only behind the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Because, to be honest, I don't know if that pay-per-view is going to be topped. But, all in all, I thought they did a fantastic job. They did the timing right. The pay-per-view was only 2 hours and, I think, 45 minutes. Which, if you paid $15 for, you got your money's worth with this pay-per-view. Best match to me was obviously Mike Quackenbush and Eddie Kingston. You could not have had any two better guys, I think, in that match for the title. You had the two best guys there, the two best wrestlers in your company going for the belt. I'm sure the replay is going to be up within the next 24 hours. I definitely recommend you guys getting High Noon. This was such a fantastic pay-per-view to watch. And I really do hope this brings a lot of new Chikara fans in. They announced the attendance was over 800 people, which was a new record. People from 30 countries all over the world ordered this pay-per-view, which right there tells you that's a big deal right there. So really, the only way I can see Chikara going is up at this point. And you know what? They did a fantastic job. They did not change any way of their product for this pay-per-view. They could have done that, but they didn't. They stuck to their guns, which I really liked. A fantastic pay-per-view. Like I said, best Chikara show all year in 2011.